OJ Mayo was the best player in high school basketball by a mile. Cover of Slam magazine, #1 ranking in the country, was personally invited to Michael Jordan's camp and challenged to a one-on-one game, and was labeled as the next LeBron James. Sounds too good to be true, but entering the NBA, it seemed to be real. At 18 points per game in his rookie year, OJ Mayo was a rising NBA star that had all the talents he needed to take over the NBA game. But fast forward just 7 years later, OJ Mayo was banned from the NBA, banished to the void, never to return to an NBA floor. With one of the most mysterious collapses that the NBA sure as hell doesn't like talking about, what did OJ Mayo do to destroy his NBA career? With the NBA playoffs coming up, it's literally the best time to get out and catch your favorite team live and in person. I know we all want to catch a playoff game at the height of the season, but whether it be price, timing, or getting your seat before they sell out, it never seems to work out. But with the Game Time Sports app, finding killer deals on seats is easier than ever. With views from the seats and all-in prices right in your face, they take the guesswork out of the ticketing process. I was able to catch my hometown Minnesota Gophers, and it couldn't have been a better experience. With incredible last-minute deals and the simplicity of a 2-click purchase, it's time to leave the excuses in the past. With the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation, and even job loss protection, Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. It's time to follow through this year. Download the Game Time app and create an account and use code SWISHCOUNTY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, redeem code SWISHCOUNTY for $20 off. And a big thank you to the Game Time app for sponsoring today's video. As LeBron James was grazing the cover of Sports Illustrated with the entirety of the sports world in the palm of his hands, there was silently another up-and-comer ready to make the game his. And this guy was 7th grade OJ Mayo, already catching comparisons to the Chosen One. This may seem like overkill, but averaging 23 points per game on Rose Hill Christian's varsity team at 13 years old was just a small glimpse into the things to follow. After putting up 27 a game in 8th grade, Mayo would transfer to North College Hill High School for his freshman year of high school, but he clearly wasn't a normal kid. Journalists and local television lined up to catch a shot of him in hopes of landing an interview on his first day of school. At just 15 years old, OJ Mayo was a legitimate celebrity. But that's to be expected when 2 years after LeBron's infamous Sports Illustrated magazine, you're getting a follow-up being labeled the next one. OJ Mayo had one of the craziest high school runs in history, averaging 29, 9, and 6 and taking home 2 Mr. Basketball awards before his senior season. With 3 state chips in 3 years after LeBron entered the NBA, the high school basketball world belonged to OJ Mayo, bringing in a record attendance of 16,202 people to watch him match up with Oak Hill Academy. Mayo was the best prospect in the world, with scouts stating that this guy was as much of a sure thing as it gets. And off his high school play, it's pretty easy to see why. Dude could score any way he wanted to. Getting to the tin, pulling up in the mid-range, pulling up for 3 off on or off-ball screens. Holy shit, could this guy get buckets? OJ Mayo was that guy. And although being just a high school kid, he was invited to Michael Jordan's camp of college players. And despite being younger than the top players in the country, OJ Mayo still stood out as a shining star. As Jordan would pick out Mayo as his matchup, OJ made it his goal to show the Jumpman why he was the best player in the country. And as Mayo started to heat up, he let Jordan know, trash talking as he repeatedly knocked down shots, getting the whole gym going crazy, as he confidently ran up and down the floor, pulling up whenever he got the chance to. Being on the receiving end of some shit talking is not something that Jordan handled well, and in Jordan fashion, he would clear the gym and give OJ an absolute beatdown one-on-one that is definitely etched in the back of this dude's head. Not only is this story a funny talk shit get hit moments, but the cocky arrogance that OJ displayed talking shit to the best to ever do it would be a trend in OJ's life and career that would lead him to trouble later on. But the trouble didn't just come later. OJ definitely was used to stepping over the line during his time in high school. With assaulting a referee and a drug possession charge on his record already, it may not have looked too bad when you're the best player in the country, but it showed the personality issues that OJ didn't care to control. As his high school career would close out in a very OJ Mayo-esque ending, with an off-the-board lob to himself for the state championship, OJ Mayo would enroll at USC for his first and only year of collegiate basketball. This is where he began to cement himself as an immediate scoring threat at the next level. Putting up 21 a game on 41% from deep, OJ was the best shooter and one of the best all-around scorers in the country. But this wasn't just a normal college player. Traveling to Southern California for school wasn't just for the pretty palm trees, as OJ would be working out with big-time NBA talent like Kobe Bryant, who referred to OJ as the total fucking package, and other guys like Kevin Garnett and Jason Kidd as well. The experience playing against the best in the world, mixed with being in the spotlight the last 5 years, made scouts believe that OJ Mayo may just be the most NBA-ready guy in the draft. And after going 3rd overall to the Memphis Grizzlies, they weren't too far off. Putting up 18.5 a game on 44% from the field and 38% from deep, OJ was an immediate scoring punch with plenty of room to grow as he caught up to the speed of the NBA game. Finishing 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting, OJ was now officially in the driver's seat heading towards the top of the NBA game. But the following year, he was really just stuck at a red light. Putting up 17.5 a game on similar shooting splits, there wasn't a physical or technical improvement to OJ's game. And although the Grizzlies improved from 24 to 40 wins this year, this was much more due to the development of Marc Gasol and the addition of Zach Randolph. Although OJ had a solid first couple of years as a scorer, the addition of his talents only resulted in an additional 2 wins for the team in his rookie year, which happened to be the best year of his entire career. OJ Mayo would be moved to the bench in the following season as the Grizzlies continued to improve, and OJ would begin to see his numbers decline pretty hard. He would complain in interviews to journalists, but that didn't sway Grizzlies management to give this guy a bigger role, especially after issues including a fight with Tony Allen, a guy who embodied the grit and grind era as well as anyone, showing up late to practice repeatedly, and worst of all, a 10-game suspension for taking steroids in his second season, for which he claimed was from drinking an energy drink he didn't know contained banned substances. OJ was a wreck entering the NBA. He was chasing women, partying, taking prescription drugs, and not getting any better. At this time, it's clear to see that the high school prodigy was quite overhyped. Defensively, the kid was pretty below average, and getting to the tin, he wasn't overly athletic at all either. Entering the league at 21 years old, making him 2 years older than all of his competition, sure as hell made him look way more developed prior to the NBA, and being the age of a college junior entering the league stunted his development in the future even more. The kid could shoot, and that was about it. And after playing all 66 games of the shortened 2012 season, OJ complained his way back into the starting lineup, but with a different team, getting signed to an extremely team-friendly $4 million deal for one of the better young scoring talents in the league. Dallas snagged a shooting guard who could put up 15 a game on 40% from deep and still let him walk in the following year. Why? Well, similar to Memphis, OJ was doing everything he could to hold himself back. Dallas coach Rick Carlisle would publicly state that they did everything they could to help drag OJ Mayo along, but you can't make the horse drink. OJ didn't care about getting better. He was talented enough to earn millions and party his ass off in the process, so why would he stop? These antics resulted in a multi-year deal with the Bucks for $24 million, so I guess that would make me shut the hell up if this contract didn't mark the steep decline of OJ Mayo's career. At 26 years old, on one of the worst teams of all time, OJ Mayo was catching DNPs on a completely directionless team, falling to 11 points a game on 40% shooting. The tiny flare that he had was blown out. OJ's boozing and pilly-popping habits resulted in a lot of weight gain, and even caused him to break his ankle falling down the Dave's steps. After putting up his career-worst 7 points a game on 37% from the field, OJ Mayo would touch an NBA floor for the very last time as his contract would expire. But this was not a usual circumstance. Coming off an injury in 2016, a 28-year-old, career 37% three-point shooter's more than likely going to find a contract to play someone. But right before his negotiations began, the NBA announced that OJ Mayo would be banned from the NBA for the next 2 years. This is twice as long as Ron Artest's suspension for punching a damn fan, and now for violating the anti-drug program, OJ would be forced to sit at home until 2018 with the longest suspension in NBA history. OJ had a known drug habit that had now costed him his job. Although the headline of the NBA prodigy now banned from the league early in his career made a pretty big splash, the NBA did a great job at making sure we all forget his name. Since the news dropped in 2016, you really can't find a soul involved in the NBA speaking on his ban. And even after averaging nearly 30 a game on 60% shooting and 45% from deep in China in 2021, the NBA is never going to give this guy a shot again. This wasn't a permanent ban like the Birdman's ban a decade prior, who's actually reinstated before putting together a respectable career. OJ Mayo was kicked out of the league to disappear from the scene forever. The case of OJ Mayo is a weird one, since due to the restrictions in place to respect his privacy, the exact reasoning of his ban was never disclosed. But something tells me a ruling like this was the boiling point for the NBA after being fed up from a troubled kid the last 8 seasons. And the only solution was to hit the eject button and pretend that the OJ Mayo mess up never even happens. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Check out my last video here if you missed it, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out.